What if the destiny of a nation was carved not by men, but by visions for Crazy Horse? The sacred Black Hills weren't just land, they were a spiritual blueprint revealed through profound prophecy. Discover how the whispers of the wind and the ancient spirit of this land guided one of history's greatest Lakota leaders and shaped the very soul of a people. Wind in the grass, smoke from cook fires, horses breathing like bellows in the heat, a dust ribbon on the ridge to the east. Then blue jackets appear. This is the moment the world remembers. But to follow Crazy Horse here, you have to ride backward first. Into Paha Sapa, the Black Hills, where a boy learned how to listen before he learned how to fight. He was born around 1840 near Rapid Creek among the Oglala Lakota. His father carried the name Crazy Horse before him. His mother was thought to be Minnie Conju. As a child, he watched the land before he tried to name it. Pine ridges that hold the wind, springs that talk, the dark mass of the hills rising like a back of a sleeping bison. He learned the trails of elk and the tone of storm fronts. He learned silence. They called him Curly when he was small, quiet, observing. He watched older riders take the fast line on a slope and file that line away. He learned to count coup without boasting. The elders told him the old things, that Paha Sapa is the heart of everything that is, that the hills are not scenery, but relation, that a person is a person through ties, to family, to band, to the land that made you. The boy listened. Hunger seasons came. Buffalo moved. Traders set prices and rumors. But the Black Hills did not move. He returned to them often, the cold clarity of Bear Butte, the way rain turns granite slick and alive. He watched lightning walk the ridge like a tall man. He began to sense pattern storms arrive. Storms pass, but the shape beneath does not break. He joined small raids as a teenager, learned the rhythm of approach, break, scatter, learned how to find the clean line through chaos. He did not shout much. He did not paint himself loud. People noticed his stillness before they noticed his speed. The old men nodded, a rider who thinks with the land. Then came the right that tightened everything into a single thread. A vision search. He went out hungry. He went out alone. He went out to the edge of weather and sound. He stopped on high ground where the hills could see him and where he could see the hills. He waited. Days pass differently when you are waiting for an answer. Light lengthens. Thoughts climb and fall. He asked for direction, not glory. He asked to be useful, not famous. He watched clouds bruise into storm. He watched hawks hold their place in a wind that would crush a man. The dream came like thunder without a strike. A rider appeared, hair loose, clothing plain, no war trophies. The rider moved through hail and rain as if the storm belonged to him. Lightning traced his cheek. Small stones clung to his skin like armor. He did not seek notice. He did not take scalps. He protected. He advanced at the hardest point and returned without boasting. The lesson was not spectacle. The lesson was alignment. If you carry the right things and leave the rest, the storm cannot break you. He came back changed. The elders read it in his face. From then on, his war dress was spare. He wore marks of lightning and hail when he chose to paint. Sometimes a small stone was tucked close. He kept his hair simple, often loose. He placed himself where the fight was hottest and moved like a blade through cloth. The land seemed to open lines for him because he moved with the land. News flows into Paha Sapa like a river finding low ground. The 1851 treaty, the 1868 treaty, the promise that the Black Hills belonged to the Lakota, then the Soldier Road, then the gold talk after Custer's 1874 expedition. More blue coats, more lines drawn without consent. The hills old as thunder become a prize on a map. Curly, now Crazy Horse, answers in the only language he trusts. Ground timing speed. He will carry his vision into the storm that is coming. Not for fame, not for trophies, for the people, for the hills that raised him. Hooves in grass again. The dust ribbon grows. The soldiers split their column. The river bends. The village wakes as if one body. Crazy Horse is already moving. He rides low, close to the wither's eyes, reading the ground as if the river itself were a sentence. The vision is not a memory to him. It is a method. Move clean, carry no extra weight. Seek no trophies. Protect the circle first. People have tried to turn his vision into a tall tale. It does not need height. It needs accuracy. A man in a storm, unadorned, moving through hail. Lightning on the face. Small stones close to skin. The meaning is simple and hard. Stay humble, stay fast. Stay aligned with forces larger than you. Do not feed your shadow with praise. Do not waste motion. Be where you are needed, not where you will be seen. He makes choices that look strange to men who crave display. He does not paint his horse with wild patterns most days. He does not wear the loud shirt. He does not stop to count spoils. His presence is a hinge in a door. The fight swings on it. Open shut. And then he is gone. The land whispers tactics if you learn its voice. Cut a draw before it closes. Use the river bend as a shield. Ride the low line that hides you until the last 10 lengths. He knows these because Paha Sapa taught him to listen. Granite teaches patience, pine teaches cover, storm teaches timing, vision confirms it. You do not announce yourself to the storm. You arrive inside it. His leadership grows from this exactness. He does not lecture. He shows a line and others follow. Youth watch where he places his horse and copy the angle. Veterans watch how he keeps the center safe and nod. He has a way of reaching the right place before the weight of the fight lands. That looks like luck to outsiders. To him, it is obedience. Do what the vision showed, no more, no less. On winter hunts, he is the same. He rides to turn the herd at the right breath. He does not push the ground too hard. He reads fresh snow like a ledger. The old women notice that meat returns with less waste. The children notice that he gives his share quietly and leaves. Respect arrives where noise is absent. The storm inside him and the storm above him share terms. Hail is pain that does not stop the rider. Lightning is strike that chooses its path. Stones are small and enduring. Carry one and remember to be small and enduring too. People try to extract glory from symbols. He extracts duty. When the U.S. expeditions cross treaty lines and the agencies press hunger into policy, his vision hardens into strategy. You cannot outshout a fort. You can outmove it. You cannot meet a fixed road with a fixed camp. You can confuse it with a camp that flows. He leads in that flow. Villages lift, move, settle, vanish. The land receives them, then hides them. He does not seek command by title. He commands by vector. When the line of blue moves fast, he moves faster. When it moves slow, he removes the reason to move at all. Scouts bring word. A column here, a pack train there. He listens, nods, draws a quick map in dust with a stick. A ridge, you cut a ford. Place riders here, here, here. Hold fire until they break line. Then press. You can hear the old ones in these choices. You can hear Paha Sapa. The hills do not charge. The hills reshape wind. He is a hills rider. He does not step out to claim credit after a fight. He rides the perimeter checks. The wounded disappears into smoke. On nights before battle, he can be found away from the loud talk. Breathing. Looking at the sky for weather. Touching the small stone. If you ask him what the plan is, he may say very little. Not secretive, precise. He will be where he is needed. He will hold the hottest ground. He will leave when it is held. Tomorrow is coming fast. The vision does not promise victory. It promises alignment. He accepts the terms. The Black Hills are not backdrop. They are parent altar archive. Paha Sapa. The words carry weight. Dark, yes, but not empty. Dark like soil, rich with memory. For the Lakota, the hills are origin and axis. Ceremonies root there. Names take shape there. Graves return there. To speak for Paha Sapa is to speak for a living relative. Geography makes the case even before history does. A compact mountain island in a sea of grass. Springs that do not fail in long summers. Shelter from blade winds of winter. Timber when the plains are bare. Game that turns at predictable passes. In a world built on movement and care, this place is provision and promise. History sets the rim around that core. Treaties are supposed to be bones that hold agreements upright. The 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie names the Black Hills for the Lakota. It is written, it is agreed. The U.S. signatures dry on the same paper as the Lakota marks. Then gold talk arrives after 1874, and the paper buckles. Surveys, expeditions, miners. Thin lines at first, then thick ropes. Agencies tighten rations when people do not surrender land they already own. This is not a policy debate to the Lakota. It is a breach. It is a theft. Crazy Horse does not write essays. His answer is arrangement on ground. Keep the people moving and safe. Keep the soldiers guessing. Keep the hills sacred by refusing to turn them into a market. When the pressure pushes east to west, he rides north to south, an open space for the village to breathe. When the pressure fractures families, he shows a straight line with his horse, and people find the spine again. To outsiders, the Black Hills are commodity. To the Lakota, they are ceremony. Places like Bear Butte, Wind Cave, Harney, Peak, Black Elk. Peak today are not scenic stops. They are threads in the same cloth. You do not sell a thread. You do not sign away the throat of a song. You defend it because it is you. This is why the fight does not fit the neat shape some writers want. It is not only about who owns which ridge in which month. It is about whether a nation can remain itself when the heart of that self is removed. You can list dates: 1874 expedition, 1876 campaign, 1877 surrender terms, and you should. But beneath the dates, the Black Hills continue to breathe, and the Lakota continue to breathe with them. Women carry this truth in daily work. Water fetched from familiar springs. Roots gathered in the seasons they have always been gathered. Songs sung against the same slopes they have always been sung. Men carry it in hunts and councils. Children carry it without knowing they carry it. Crazy Horse carries it in motion. Protect the breathing of this place by keeping the people whole. Writers later will call this mysticism as if it were fog. It is not fog, it is clarity. If you remove the center from a wheel, the rim fails no matter how hard you push. The Black Hills are the center. The rim is the camps, the hunts, the alliances, the language in the mouths of the young. Crazy Horse understands mechanics the way a builder does. Keep the center intact, the rim holds. When the U.S. sends columns to force a choice, agency life on reduced terms or war on terms you cannot win, he holds to the third way as long as possible mobility under law already signed. Treaty ownership village autonomy ceremony unbroken. He will keep that shape until the shape collapses under weight. He hopes it will not collapse. Hope is not policy. It is fuel. He burns it carefully, and always the hills in his mind. Granite under hoof, pine breath in winter, storms that teach you where not to be and when to move. The land is teacher and proof. He believes that if he remains aligned with that teacher, even loss will not make him false. That belief will be tested. It will not be broken. Morning breaks on the Greasy Grass. The 7th Cavalry divides. Reno pushes one way. Benteen searches another line. Custer drives for the northern end. In the village, the alarm is not panic. It is conversion. From sleep to purpose in one breath. Riders mount. Women pull children toward cover. Dust lifts. Crazy Horse moves to the sound of the hardest need. He is not counting companies or counting names. He is reading the line where the blue will fold if pressed. He rides there. Others see him and form on him because he is a line that does not waver. He does not carry trophies. He carries speed. Gall's sharp counter on Reno's side shakes the day. Sitting Bull's spiritual presence steadies hearts. Bands from Hunkpapa, Oglala Miniconjou, Sans Arc, Brule and Northern Cheyenne act with a unity that comes from shared threat and trusted leaders. The blue split becomes a blue scatter. On Custer's Hills, the pressure tightens. Crazy Horse is seen riding through gun smoke close to the ground, moving with that same method. Arrive where needed, break the hinge, roll the line. The fight ends the way a storm ends. Suddenly then with echoes. The fallen lie under sun. The living count the living. Victory does not taste like triumph. It tastes like relief and dread. Relief that the village holds. Dread of what will come now. The United States will not call this over. The United States will call this motive. Campaigns follow. Hunger is weapon. Winter presses. Villages splinter under weight they cannot share forever. Some move to agencies under worsening terms. Some hold out counting buffalo that do not come back fast enough. Crazy Horse stays with the people who still move, still try to chart the third way. He is constant in a world built to break constancy. In 1877, the pressure closes. He surrenders at Red Cloud Agency in May, with his people seeking to save lives when the fight's cost exceeds its worth. This is not surrender of belief. It is a calculation for survival. He wants a promise honored, a reservation in the Powder River country. He wants space to breathe. Hunt, remember. He wants Paha Sapa left sacred. He is told many things. Paper says one thing. Men with power do another. Misunderstanding becomes weapon. Rumor becomes cord. In September 1877 at Fort Robinson, during a struggle in custody, a soldier's bayonet finds his body. He falls. Witness accounts conflict in small details and agree in the large one. A blade in a crowded moment, a fatal wound. A great man dying with words many remember as simple. Let me go, he goes. The story could end there if stories were bones. But this one is a river. It runs on. His name is not a statue. It is a practice. Move clean. Seek no fame. Protect the circle. Align with the land. That practice travels through families who refuse to sell the hills, through ceremonies that adapt without breaking through leaders who speak for treaty law in courtrooms far from pine and granite. What the U.S. reads as defiance, the Lakota read as continuity. Crazy Horse's life makes the shape of that continuity visible. A line you can ride even when the ground changes under you. In battle it looks like speed. In peace it looks like refusal to cash out what cannot be priced. In both it looks like care for the people first. The echo is not noise, it is instruction. The fight moved from ridges to rooms, from river bends to court benches. In 1980, the United States Supreme Court issues a ruling in United States v. Sioux Nation. It says the Black Hills were taken illegally. It offers money. The Lakota say no. You cannot sell a relative to make a wrong right. The fund grows with interest in vaults. The refusal holds on the ground. This is Crazy Horse's line, living in a different weather. Protect the center. Do not trade it for applause or relief that turns to ash later. People call this symbolic. Symbols are easy to break. This is structural. As long as Lakota people refuse the money and insist on land or rightful terms, the story remains open to an honest ending. On the ground, the Black Hills are busy with other stories. Tourism, timber mines, parks. But inside and around those layers, Lakota communities keep ceremony language law. Youth ride programs that cross old trails. Elders teach star maps at night and treaty maps by day. Activists hold prayer camps. Councils press for co-management of sites and for returns that are practical, specific, lawful. Not a myth of going back. A plan for going forward with the center restored. Names change on maps. Harney Peak becomes Black Elk Peak. That is not enough, but it is not nothing. Co-management talks open for some sites. That is not the heart, but it is closer to the arteries than silence was. Each small return is a test. Can a large nation keep a promise it already wrote? And can a people keep their center without breaking under delay? You can stand on a lookout today, feel the wind on your face, and read two stories at once. One in English on an interpretive sign, one in Lakota in the shape of the ridges and the sound of prayer in the morning. If you know Crazy Horse's method, you can hear how to move. Stop wasting motion. Place effort where the hinge is. Hold the hottest ground, law language ceremony, and leave trophies to men who need applause more than outcomes. A generation that carries his name into today, wears jeans and carries phones, and still knows to keep paint simple and purpose exact. They walk into federal meetings and onto sacred slopes with the same alignment. Do not sell the center. Do not let anyone tell you the center is only a feeling. It is a place. It is Paha Sapa. It is treaty text. It is bones in earth and songs in air. It is a living law. What does victory look like here? Not a flag raised over a fort. Not a check cashed with a headline. Victory looks like a grandmother taking a child to a spring in the hills, and saying this is ours not by purchase, but by promise and by prayer. It looks like co-managed stewardship that honors origin. It looks like returned parcels and protected peaks. It looks like language classes full and court cases settled with land, not with hush money. Crazy Horse's vision is not a museum piece. It is a manual. If you hold it up to the light in 2025, the words do not fade. They sharpen, move clean, refuse spectacle, protect the circle, align with the land. Every meeting, every march, every ceremony is an arena where that manual applies. The wind still writes its long line across the hills. Storms still train riders in timing. Children still learn to watch before they speak. The Black Hills are still the breathing center. The question is whether the United States will breathe with that center as promised. The Lakota answer is steady we will. Thank you for watching.